Hello, welcome to GeekyHiJynx, home of the Mischief Makers, and today we're looking at The Last Thing Mary Saw. Another week, another Shudder movie, but is this one any good? We'll find out, but before we do, what's it all about? So The Last Thing Mary Saw is written and directed by Edoardo Vitaletti, and it's also starring these people. Just gonna pause here for a second, let you soak it all in. And we'll move on. It's set in the winter of 1843 and a young woman is under investigation following the mysterious death of her family's matriarch. And through a series of flashbacks, Mary must explain to the local authorities what actually took place on that dark and fateful night. Well, I'll be honest guys, going into this film I wasn't too enthusiastic, and this is mainly because horror folklore movies aren't my thing. That's not to say they're bad. I enjoyed The Witch, which was really good. I gave that a chance, I enjoyed it. That's not perfect either, but at least it kept me engaged. The suspense was there and I liked the ending. This film, going in, I had no clue, and with a Shudder film doing its own interpretation of a folklore horror film, I was terrified. But before I go into what I liked and didn't like about this film, what did PG think?
Well, when you're not trying to fall asleep, I guess it's not too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Now, the first thing I liked about this film was the cast. The cast surprised me, there are some pretty good actors here. So you have actors like Rory Culkin, brother of Macaulay Culkin, who you may know best as the younger brother in Signs. There's Isabel Fuhrman, better known as Esther in the great horror movie Orphan, and in this she's playing the love interest to Mary called Eleanor. Then we have Mary, who's played by Stephanie Scott, who for the eagle-eyed out there may recognise her from the third Insidious movie. And then there's Judith Roberts, who plays the family's matriarch, and you may recognise her from James Wan's earlier film Dead Silence, where she plays that really creepy old lady. This film also drips atmosphere, makes you feel very claustrophobic at times. This is due to the cinematography, which, surprisingly with all Shudder films, is actually well done. Now in this film, Mary and Eleanor are in a secret relationship because this film is set in the late 1800s, so to be in a same-sex relationship back then was very taboo. And Mary is part of this very religious family. They read the Bible on a daily basis. They take everything very literal, so anything like this is a no-go. So when they do catch them initially, they do everything they can to, lack of a better word, straighten them out, which obviously won't work, doesn't work, because these two characters are in love with each other, but they're trying to avoid being caught by their family. Their family have their suspicions, but they also think that this same-sex relationship is bringing this dark force. The devil is entering their households, so they're very desperate to stop this happening because they think an evil force will just destroy their family. And you're probably thinking, this sounds pretty good, but they don't do enough with it, which I'll explain to you in a bit. So the premise and the setup and what I've just explained sounds like a good story, but it's just been lost potential. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now there are some creepy moments in this film, I won't lie. There were some scenes that made me pay attention, get really engaged, but they were kind of spread out and didn't really kick in until the grandmother's funeral. Now before I move on to my negatives, let's go into my comical observations, and there's only one this time. Now like I mentioned, Eleanor and Mary are trying to keep their relationship hidden. They suck at this. I'm not lying to you. They're trying to evade their family. They're trying to hide in different spots, but they couldn't hide in more "hey everyone, we're over here" spots if they tried. There is one scene during the grandmother's funeral, funny enough, in the kitchen I guess, or the storeroom, I don't care, but there's a scene in there where they're having a moment and you're like, do you want to get caught? Alright lads, listen up, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back to mine, get the guns, get to that bank, hold everyone up if we have to. We're going to get in that safe, get the jewels and the money, get to our cars, get on the boat, head to Mexico, and we're laughing for the rest of what you're looking at. Ah, crap. So what I didn't like about this film? Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, the atmosphere was good, and the cinematography was well done. The one thing that sucked was the lighting. I had to adjust my TV settings so many times because I thought my TV was dead. I thought it was game over. It's literally, you can't see anything at all. Like most of the time in this movie, I was like, hello movie, I can't see you movie. And as I mentioned, the cast are good, but the characters are kind of weak because you don't know anything about them apart from what they do. So Eleanor and Mary want to be together. That's fine. But who are you as people? Like, make me care about you two individually, so whatever happens to you in the end, I'm invested, I care. Even the matriarch character, who I was most interested in because there's obviously something going on back there, not really fully explained. And even Rory Culkin's character, who turns up very late into the film and not in it as much as you think for someone that's top billing in this movie, his character when he comes on is interesting. But who are you? But the one cardinal sin this film commits is it's boring. You can't be a horror film and be boring, because in horror movie land, horror films that are boring seem to last 5 times longer than a normal film. It seemed like it went on for ages. I saw the runtime and I think it was like 86 minutes, and I was like, cool, sweet, nice and short. Yet it seemed like a 3-hour film. It went on for so long. I mean, I've seen some bad Shudder films. This isn't a bad film. I'm gonna say that right now. This isn't a bad film. But I almost got up and turned this off to do something else because I was so disengaged. I felt like I was forcing myself to watch this film instead of wanting to. Overall, guys, when the film was said and done and the credits started to roll, I said out loud to myself, there was a movie here. Because there is. The good moments are really good. They're creepy, they're engaging. There's just not enough of it. Films like The Witch, they keep you engaged with good lighting for one, engaging characters, you get to know them more, but also the creepy moments are always present throughout the film to that big build up at the end. This film is just like a go grease, like the film is just like flatlining, creepy moment, nothing. Grandmother's funeral, oh, engaging, but then you've got all this where nothing happens. If you like this genre, I think you enjoy this one. If you like this type of movie, I think you'll be able to do it better than I did, because like I said, I wasn't a big fan going in, and this didn't do anything to make me a bigger fan of what it was. So, like I said, it's not terrible, has some good moments. I love the cast, the creepy moments are really good, but yeah, I can't really say more than that. So on that note, I'm going to give The Last Thing Mary Saw 2 out of 5 geeky coins. It also gets a one-time spin and a mobile moan. So guys, that was my review of The Last Thing Mary Saw. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it a snooze fest or the greatest film you've ever seen? Come back to the comments and let me know, because I genuinely am interested. And if you like this video, drop me those likes because it always does help. But until next time, stay out of trouble.